Hi guys, this is Ola from CatBond. If you are here, means that you have completed all of the components models that we have done in the past for this our ship wheel series. The assembly of this project is going to be easy, and I will take it step by step, dividing this into several parts. And at the end of this is what we are going to have as shown on our screen. So let's jump right in. To begin, we come over to show data panel. Within our project, I'm going to create a new folder and call it assembly. Alright, and I would open this. Okay, cancel. Now, to begin an assembly using Fusion 360, there is something that you have to do, which is you have to have saved your current file. So right now we have Untitled, so we'll save this first, and I will just call this 1 because I don't want to be thinking about the name, so we can just say 1, and make sure that you're saving in the correct directory. You could save in the ship wheel directory, it doesn't matter, but make it saved where you can find it and say save. Alright, so the first thing for us to do now is we go over to show data panel, and for this I'll go back to ship wheel and I would insert my handle. I'll right click and say insert into current design. So we have the handle inserted here. I do not need to change the direction or position of this, so I will simply say OK. And I would also go ahead to insert my pin and say insert into current design. Alright, so with these two I can say OK. The pin is located here. The location doesn't really matter right now, and I close the data panel. Okay, the next thing for us to do is going to be to place assembly constraints or joints between the pin and the handle. So one thing you need to know in Fusion is that the first part that you select in creating your joint is going to be the one that moves its position. So what we do is we go to assemble joint, and then I'll click on or rotate my screen. What I want is to find this center point here of this the cylindrical surface for our pin. So when I select on this, right, I also need to select the center point for the hole located here. So now the hole I mean is, if we go to inspect and section analysis using this face, the hole I'm trying to select now for the handle is going to be this hole here, and the position is going to be at the center point of this hole. So if I say OK, which is not necessary to use this method, I go over to joint. So I'll just repeat what I did previously. I select on this center point of this surface, right? Then I come over here, I select on this surface and select the center point. So now what we're doing is we're applying the constraint between the center point of the pin and the center point of this handle. Also, we do not want the we could leave it as rigid, but I would say we make it cylindrical, because that is what it is in reality. So we'll call it cylindrical, means it's allowed to move up and down, and I would say OK. Now we have this. I go to my analysis where I created this section from. I can switch this off, and this is what we have. What we want to do now is to make them fixed together. So I go over to assemble and say rigid group, which means that when we proceed in the assembly process, wherever this part goes to, this also follows. So I would say select the components 1 and 2. Yeah, we already have a cylindrical constraint, so we want it to be included, yes, and I would say OK. Now this is done. The next thing for us to do will be to save this part, and I'll catch you in the next one.